Chapter 941 Zai Sheng's Big Feast. His other hand was on Qiao Nan's back. When it slid up, he could feel a piece of skin that was as smooth as cream. At that moment, this person only had one thought: tender, really tender. It was much tenderer than the tenderest tofu that he had eaten before. Not wearing any clothes. The nudity that was plastered on his chest was too obvious. Truly, the feeling of direct skin-to-skin contact without any hindrance felt extremely wonderful. Brother! Brother Zai! Qiao Nan was scared out of her wits. She heard the other party's voice and naturally shouted. Besides me, who dares to do this to you? At this moment, Zai Sheng's voice sounded extremely deep and hoarse. It also seemed to carry with it tones of fury and endurance. Zai Sheng's injury was almost recovered. Once the injury did not hinder his movement, he resumed his work and handled the matters of the army. Earlier, Zai Sheng had been resting too much. As such, a lot of work had piled up. Naturally, he had to pick up all these pieces of work and conscientiously settle them. If the tasks were to accumulate further, Zai Sheng would still have to handle them eventually. It was certainly better to settle them sooner than later. These were tasks that Zai Sheng could not neglect. In the past, Zai Sheng could spend less time and effort during such time as Shi Peng, his master, was still around. Regardless of the situation, Shi Peng would settle most of them properly for Zai Sheng. Zai Sheng also trusted Shi Peng. Now, there was a newcomer who took over Shi Peng's responsibilities. Zai Sheng had not nurtured this kind of chemistry and trust with him. Hence, Zai Sheng had no choice but to work a little harder. After a few consecutive days of sleepless nights, Zai Sheng finally managed to settle all of the duties within his job scope. Thereafter, Zai Sheng rushed to the capital without taking any break. To put it bluntly, even if the Zai Yaowai couple had already arrived at the capital, Zai Sheng also did not believe that this pair of unreliable dad and mom would help him take good care of his good wife. He felt that his biological parents would not be more committed than him in doing so. Thus, it was better that he came to the capital as soon as possible to protect and keep a watch personally. He would feel more at ease that way. It had been very rushed for him. In addition, Zai Sheng's health was still on the road to recovery and his hands had not completely healed. When Zai Sheng arrived in the capital, naturally, he was exhausted. Without a word, Miao Jing got Zai Sheng to return to his bedroom to nap. She would prepare a big feast for Zai Sheng in the evening. Zai Sheng was truly exhausted. Without thinking much, he agreed. The first person that he had wanted to see when he rushed to the capital was Qiao Nan. However, he had to consider the practicalities of the situation. Zai Sheng was thinking that he could take a nap to replenish his energy. Before he looked for Qiao Nan at Peking University, he could tidy up his appearance and meet her with a good image. At the same time, he could wipe out anyone who could potentially become his rival in love. However, the plan could not keep up with the changes. Zai Sheng, whose thick and rough hands had been rubbing and touching the smooth and beautiful back of Qiao Nan, was already thinking about what his mother had said that she would prepare a feast for him. Did this feast include the tender baby that he was holding in his arms? With the fragrant and bare feel in his hands, coupled with the smell of water and fragrance after a bath, Zai Sheng increasingly felt that the tender baby in his arms was his true feast today. At this moment, Zai Sheng was not wearing any more clothes than Qiao Nan. Zai Sheng only wore a pair of boxers to sleep. His upper torso was naked, and so were his body below his knees. Qiao Nan was not truly young. At most, she was just inexperienced. Under such circumstances, she could feel how dangerous her predicament was. It was so easy for Zai Sheng's gun to go off by accident. For the sake of her own safety, Qiao Nan lifted her head. Brother Zai. MMPH. Qiao Nan just shouted two words Brother Zai before her mouth was blocked by Zai Sheng. It could be because of too much longing or sperms getting into his head that Zai Sheng held on to Qiao Nan very tightly. The hands on Xiaonan's back even pulled Xiaonan towards him with all his might. Xiaonan was caught off guard. Besides the thin layer of cloth on her body, the upper bodies of the two of them were completely pressed together. At the same time, Xiaonan and Zai Sheng could clearly feel the two balls of tender meat, which were Zai Sheng's favorite, on Xiaonan's chest, being squeezed by the hard chest muscles. They were pressed together like a pancake. Due to this sense of touch, the two of them shuddered uncontrollably. Thereafter, Zai Sheng opened his eyes and looked into that of Xiaonan. He turned red all of a sudden. In the face of Zai Sheng's increasingly aggressive advances and engulfment, Xiaonan swallowed continuously. She was anxiously grabbing Zai Sheng's arms with that little strength of her pair of hands. Zai Sheng's lips and tongue were scorching. It was hotter than the June sun. It was so hot that Xiaonan felt that she was like an ice cream that was being feasted on mouthful by Zai Sheng. She was going to end up being thoroughly devoured in Zai Sheng's tummy. This kiss of Zai Sheng was extraordinarily fierce. That taste in his mouth, which was as fragrant and sweet as honey, made Zai Sheng obsessed. Xiaonan's feelings were right. At this moment, Zai Sheng only had one thing in his mind, and that was to devour Xiaonan. The tender and nice-smelling tiny lips felt so full and bouncy. The taste made Zai Sheng feel pitiful as he gently licked and meticulously traced them. However, that addictive sweetness filled Zai Sheng's heart with a sense of exigency. He could not help sucking hard again. In the dark room, the sound of kissing could be heard. It made Xiaonan feel so shy that even the tips of her toes curled up. Having been kissed so fiercely by Zai Sheng, Xiaonan's soul almost flew away. When Xiaonan regained her senses, she had already been pressed on the bed by Zai Sheng. As Zai Sheng was pressing onto her, she felt that she was under a mountain and the oxygen in her lungs was all gone. Without the need for Zai Sheng to use much strength, the towel that was already unreliable gave way with a gentle flick of a finger. It then revealed the chaste and attractive figure wrapped in it. Xiaonan, who realized the situation that she was in, trembled badly. That tender look would make a man want to pity and also torture her. He had already reached the forbidden land that he was yearning for. Zai Sheng knew that he could go to heaven next. As a man, Zai Sheng wanted very much to go in. He also wanted to do it viciously and strongly, not just with fingers. However, Zai Sheng, who was both angry and annoyed, gritted his teeth. Xiaonan, who was lying down and dared not move, could clearly hear the sound of Zai Sheng grinding his teeth. Zai Sheng was not moving anymore. All the more Xiaonan did not dare to move. She was afraid that she would stimulate Zai Sheng again such that the latter could not stop. She could vaguely feel that Zai Sheng's body was not only stiff and hard but also shockingly hot. Beads of sweat were splashing on her naked body. Xiaonan felt her heart ache for Zai Sheng because she knew that Zai Sheng certainly did not feel good. After some time, Zai Sheng's strange, hoarse, and deep voice could be heard. "Nan Nan, is it because you don't love me?" Hence, she refused to give herself to him even though they were already engaged? At the thought of this answer, Zai Sheng discovered that his heart felt more painful than his swollen body. Chapter 942. She was indeed his biological mother. "It's not that," Xiaonan said softly. Her hands held on to Zai Sheng's stiff arms that were by her side. "Today? It is not appropriate today. How could she not love Brother Zai? If she did not love him, the moment Brother Zai touched her, she would resist and punch him even if she did not have the strength to do so." However, her future mother-in-law was in this house. At this point in time, Xiaonan was beginning to understand that most probably, what happened today was all arranged by her future mother-in-law. She was like a silly little sheep that fell into the pit dug by her mother-in-law. She did not know that Brother Zai had arrived in the capital, but her mother-in-law was certainly aware of it. Her mother-in-law clearly knew that Brother Zai was sleeping in his bedroom, yet she allowed her to go over in such attire. It was no wonder that Miao Jing insisted her to have a bath. Miaojing also claimed that she was busy and asked her to go to Brother Zai's bedroom to take the clothes. She had said before that today, her mother-in-law's behavior was too strange. So, that was the reason. Mom is outside. Xiaonan reminded softly. They were not the only people in this house. There was a third party. Xiaonan's voice was trembling more than her body. Anyway, she felt embarrassed and awkward. She could not get over this psychological barrier. If she really gave herself to Brother Zai today, no matter what, she certainly would not be able to face anyone tomorrow, especially her mother-in-law. At this moment, the sound of Zai Sheng grinding his teeth grew louder. One's successes and failures were both due to the same person. Zai Sheng was so enraged that he felt like vomiting blood. How could Zai Sheng not understand what Xiaonan had already figured out? Initially, Zai Sheng still believed that the tender and soft thing in his arms was the big feast that his mother had prepared for him. Zai Sheng felt that this was truly his biological mother. When Xiaonan's towel gave way and he saw that the lingerie on Xiaonan was obviously new, he already knew that her mother had conned him. Indeed, she was his biological mother. If his mother really wanted to gift her daughter-in-law as a big feast to him, no matter what, she should let Nan Nan enter his bedroom without any lingerie. When they were plastered together, Zai Sheng had already discovered that Xiaonan was still wearing 2 pieces of small. Xiaonan initially felt her heart ache for Zai Sheng. He was already so old. It was fine when they were just dating. Now, they were already engaged. The arrow was already on the string but he could not fire it. He was enduring it badly and it was bad for his health. However, at this moment, Xiaonan only felt that the situation before her was too amusing. Was her mother-in-law's intention to help or harm Brother Zai? With this smile, all of Xiaonan's nervousness and fear disappeared. Xiaonan mustered her courage and used one hand to quietly put the 2 ends of the towel together while her other hand hooked on Zai Sheng's neck and lifted his head. She then accurately planted a kiss on Zai Sheng's lips that were tightly pursed currently due to anger. Next time, find a suitable time and place. Are you sure? You won't regret it. He had not feasted on meat but he had taken some of it. Furthermore, he had been promised a big feast the next time. Zai Sheng's mood finally turned brighter. I am certain. I won't regret it. Even if you are not certain and will regret it, you won't be able to run away next time. He was not Lu Ziawei. He could not tolerate another occurrence of this. Zai Sheng felt that if this situation was to repeat itself, he would certainly burst into flames and kill someone. A murderous and sinister aura could be heard in Zai Sheng's tone. Xiaonan did not know whether to laugh or cry. Quickly get up now. Otherwise, you're the one who won't feel good. In this aspect, women's endurance was much better than men's. What's the hurry? Zai Sheng's tone changed. He pressed Xiaonan, who had wanted to get up, back onto the bed. Didn't he already promise her not to do it? Zai Sheng did not speak. He told Xiaonan what he wished to do with his actions. He was not only a man but also a very normal man, a man that was much healthier than other men. His wife was in his arms. Although he could not truly feast on her, he did not need to shortchange himself by enduring it or satisfying himself on his own to vent it out. After dawdling for half an hour, when Xiaonan felt that the skin on her palms was almost coming off, Zai Sheng finally groaned. It was finally over. Cough, Miaojing had been waiting until the hot rice had turned cold. Finally, her son and daughter-in-law were out. As the initiator, Miao Miao realized that she had actually done it now and was wondering what appropriate words to say. After all, Miaojing was someone who had given birth to 2 children. At the sight of Xiaonan's walking posture when the latter came out, Miaojing knew that her son did not thoroughly bully Xiaonan. Regarding this, Miaojing gently heaved a sigh of relief. Many years ago, when she was married to Zai Yawei, she gave birth to 2 children within 3 years. Miao Jing did not doubt the ability of the men in the Zai family at all. Qiao Nan was only in her first year of college studies. Regardless of how much Miao Jing wanted to have a grandchild, she could not allow her son to cause a life to be at stake at this moment. Moreover, Qiao Nan had not reached the legal age of marriage. Given the Zai family's temperament, they would definitely not do anything illegal. Regardless of whether it was a grandson or granddaughter. They were all precious to them and she would not let the grandchild become unregistered in the household. As such, Miao Jing wanted to let her son have meat to confirm that his son certainly loved the girl and that he did not have any problems with his health. However, she was also worried about Qiao Nan's age. Premarital pregnancy was certainly not so pleasant. As to contraceptive pills, Miao Jing was definitely not agreeable to taking them. Miao Jing, who was touching her chin, suddenly considered one issue. Why didn't her son use a condom next time? Mom. Mom. There were two sounds of mom. The mom from Qiao Nan felt high-spirited. As to the mom from Zai Sheng, Miao Jing could tell that it was filled with rage. Ah, both of you must be exhausted. Come, quickly eat. The silly Miao Jing simply spoke from her heart. Qiao Nan's face was so red that she felt like leaving. What did she mean when she said both of you must be exhausted? Zai Sheng was more at ease. He pulled Qiao Nan, who almost became a scaredy cat, along with him and sat down in a composed manner. He then helped Qiao Nan scoop a bowl of rice and a bowl of soup and placed them before her. You must be hungry. Have some. Nan was certainly tired out. Miao Jing could not take her son's shamelessness anymore. She picked up some vegetables with her chopsticks and placed them in Qiao Nan's bowl. Nan, have some. It has been tough on you today. Eat more. Most likely, it would only get tougher in the future. When Qiao Nan, who had just started eating, heard Miao Jing's words, she nearly buried her face in the bowl of rice and could not lift it up. Facing Miao Jing's words, Qiao Nan really did not have the courage to reply that it was not tough and not tiring. Zai Sheng took a glance at Qiao Nan, whose head almost emitted smoke, and secretly made a decision on whether he and Nan should buy another house and stay separately from his parents after they were married. Otherwise, given today's situation, it was not too convenient for him to have meat after marriage. Mom, Nan is born on the month with 31 days. While having his meal and facing the extremely quiet table, Zai Sheng suddenly asked. Chapter 943. His wife could not sleep in someone else's bedroom. Miao Jing looked puzzled as she turned to Qiao Nan. Qiao Nan then blinked and looked at Zai Sheng. What did Brother Zai mean by these words? Nan is born in a month with 31 days. I recall that she will be 20 years old in 4 months' time. There were 2 question marks appearing in Qiao Nan and Miao Jing's eyes respectively. They seemed to be asking why Zai Sheng said that without an apparent reason. In the end, Miao Jing was the first to react. Do you mean that since Nan is born in the month with 31 days, she will be 20 years old in 4 months' time and the 2 of you can collect your marriage certificate then? Ah, that was right. Why did she forget about this? Those ladies who were born in the months with 30 days would reach the legal age of marriage only when they were 22 years old. Nan was born in the month with 31 days. Hence, they could collect the marriage certificate when she reached the nominal age of 21 years old. She could become part of the Zai family then. Miao Jing counted with her fingers and said happily, in that case, even if the 2 of you do it, I don't even need to prepare condoms for you. Even if a life is at stake, you will be able to collect the certificate in 4 months' time. My grandchild will not become unregistered in the household then. Why had she forgotten such an important point? My goodness, if she had known that this was the case, she would not have given Nan the new lingerie that she had specially bought for the latter. This set of lingerie was certainly Miao Jing's warning for Zai Sheng that there should be a bottom line in everything. It would be too much if he were to go off limits. With the sound of a pop, the chopsticks in Qiao Nan's hands dropped on the table directly. She was angered by Miao Jing and Zai Sheng, this pair of mother and son. Zai Sheng quietly helped Qiao Nan pick up the chopsticks and tucked them back in Qiao Nan's hands. He then picked up a lot of meat with his chopsticks for Qiao Nan, rubbed her head, and hurried her to eat. At the sight of the heap of dishes in her bowl, Qiao Nan was briefly having an illusion that Zai Sheng was fattening her up so that he could feast on her later on. Could this be explained as "you had eaten your fill now, so I could also eat to my heart's content next time?" After the meal, Qiao Nan dropped her chopsticks. Without even watching television, she rushed into Zai Hua's room at lightning speed. "Mom, brother Zai, I'm feeling sleepy. I will sleep first. Good night." As to who would wash the dishes after the meal today, Qiao Nan was not the least concerned. Miao Jing rolled her eyes at Zai Sheng, feeling slightly satisfied. "See, you have scared her away." Facing her son who was almost 26 years old, Miao Jing had been worried. She was happy that her son was not a loose person. However, he was too extreme and it seemed as though he was uninterested in women. Miao Jing had been too concerned. As a woman with traditional thinking, Miao Jing always felt that yin and yang was the best combination and the way to go. However, after so many years, Miao Jing had seen the world and was also aware that there were some people who loved people of their gender. She did not discriminate against this type of people, but she was reluctant for her son to be one of them. In the past, when Zai Yai was with Qi Minlin, they had never held hands in front of others. Moreover, there would not be a situation whereby they would go out and stay outside overnight. At that time, Miao Jing told herself that Zai Yai did not love Qi Minlin. Hence, he was not willing to touch Qi Minlin. There were also such situations. Later on, she found out that Qiao Nan was the one that her son loved. He had also gotten engaged with Qiao Nan, but these two were still dawdling. They did not seem to have any actual progress. They were still purely holding hands after the engagement. Could Miao Jing, this mother, not feel anxious? Precisely, the show today came about because of that. Miao Jing wanted to confirm whether her son truly loved woman, was true to Qiao Nan, and could give Qiao Nan a happy sex life. If that was not the case, Miao Jing was not willing to delay Qiao Nan's life. It would be better for them to go their separate ways so that neither would delay each other's time. However, at this moment, all of Miao Jing's doubts and worries had disappeared. His little wife had returned to the bedroom with a red face. His biological mother was humming a small tune. As the only man in the house, Zai Sheng had the self-awareness to start washing the dishes. However, when he saw the color of the white porcelain plates was in stark contrast with the skin color of his hands, Zai Sheng moved his hands and said, "They are not as fair as Nan Nan." Fortunately, Qiao Nan was not present. Otherwise, she would definitely feel so shy that she felt like punching Zai Sheng. Such an embarrassing thing happened today. After Qiao Nan returned to Zai Hua's room, she could not fall asleep for a long time. This was also not her sleeping time based on her usual routine. However, she was really too embarrassed to leave the room. She could only toss and turn on the bed until she was tired out. Qiao Nan fell asleep in a daze thereafter. In the middle of the night, the doorknob of Qiao Nan's bedroom door moved. One could hear the sound of a click. The door seemed to have been unlocked. Even if there was not a single ray of light in the room, the eyes of Zai Sheng, who resembled that of a leopard, were not hindered at all. Without a miss, he accurately zoomed in on Qiao Nan, who was laying and sleeping soundly on the bed. His white t-shirt was still on Qiao Nan. Although it was big, it could only cover Qiao Nan's round and tiny buttocks. It was above Qiao Nan's knees. As such, he could naturally see Qiao Nan's fair and smooth as well as straight and slender legs that were more beautiful than spring. When Zai Sheng carried Qiao Nan up with his hands, he could not help but reach out to touch Qiao Nan's calves. The skin that did not greet the sun for many years was extremely smooth and tender. In addition, the muscles on the calves were firm and bouncy. That kind of touch, whoever touched it would know how it felt. Zai Sheng did not understand. How did his little wife do that? She was so soft all over. It was as if she did not have any bones. Each time he came into physical contact with his little wife, he could not take his hands off her. After secretly having a kick, Zai Sheng carried Jiao Nan up swiftly before she woke up. Zai Sheng was very strong. Hence, when he lifted Jiao Nan did not feel much and also did not wake up from her dreamland. It was only when Jiao Nan was sleeping in a different place did she dream of a huge python surrounding her in circles and tightening itself on her waist. It seemed to have the intention to strangle her to death. Jiao Nan, who felt suffocated, woke up and broke out in a sweat. She was awakened from the nightmare. The feeling of suffocation from the dream was still present. It did not disappear just because she woke up. Jiao Nan looked down. My goodness, the arms of a man were wrapped on her waist. After what happened during the day, Jiao Nan did not feel frightened now. She was very clear as to whose arms they were. The problem was that she was sleeping in Sister Zaihua's room. Before she slept, she remembered very clearly that she had already locked the door tightly. Zai Sheng, who was hugging Jiao Nan and sleeping, exerted some strength. Thereafter, Jiao Nan's back and Zai Sheng's chest were even closer to each other. Jiao Nan could feel the frequency of Zai Sheng's heartbeat through this contact. Be good. Sleep. Zai Sheng pecked twice on the bare neck of Jiao Nan. His four limbs were tightly intertwined with Jiao Nan. Thereafter, he did not move. He had the intention to sleep. Chapter 944 did not learn to be good at all. Jiao Nan, who was in a daze, did not manage to figure out how Zai Sheng got into her room. She was still in a confused state when she fell asleep again. Jiao Nan could not figure this out, but Zai Yaowai was well aware of what happened. After washing up, Zai Yaowai returned to his room to change his clothes and sleep. That little brat! He used all the skills that he has picked up in the army to steal a beauty. That is so promising. Early the next morning, Jiao Nan's first reaction when she woke up was to turn her body. She saw that the other side of the bed was empty. Jiao Nan blinked hard. Could it be that what happened during the daytime was too stimulating and it caused her to have a ridiculous dream? When Jiao Nan found out that she was not sleeping in Zaihua's room and that she was in Zai Sheng's room, her face turned black. True enough. You're awake. Zai Sheng, who had just returned from morning exercises, was perspiring badly. He only wanted to return to his bedroom to take his underwear before taking a bath. Unexpectedly, his little wife had a pleasant surprise for him early in the morning. Jiao Nan had just woken up. Her slightly tousled long hair that was below shoulder length was fanned out in a sexy manner. It was a stark contrast with her fair and flawless face. When the two of them were hugging and sleeping together the night before, Jiao Nan's shirt was buttoned properly. Initially, Zai Sheng purely wanted to carry Jiao Nan over so that the two of them could sleep together. Jiao Nan was his wife. Why should they sleep separately? She even had to sleep in Zaihua's room? Zai Sheng, who had a strong sense of territorial ownership, pried open the lock without a word and carried Jiao Nan back to his room. As for a discussion, Zai Sheng expressed that it was not necessary. That was his wife. Where should she sleep if not in his room? At most, it was because Nan Nan was shy that his mother was around. As a true man, of course, he could not put his wife in a difficult position. He would carry Nan Nan over when she was sleeping. That was the most convenient way. However, it was a sweet, young thing that he had had in mind for 4 to 5 years. He had watched her grow better and better over the years. Regardless of how pure his intention was when he first carried her over, some matters were not so easily controlled when the two were lying down together. It was only until when he woke up in the morning that Zai Sheng discovered that one of his arms was under Jiao Nan's neck for her to lean on like a pillow. As for the other hand that was initially around Jiao Nan's waist, it had not been so honest and abiding. It not only tore off the top 2 buttons of the shirt that Xiao Nan was wearing but also damaged the third one, which was swaying on Xiao Nan's chest with a bit of string left. The shirt on Xiao Nan had been pulled down by that hand. Zai Sheng's big hands even took the initiative to reach into the new territory that he discovered, let alone revealing Xiao Nan's beautiful shoulder. When Zai Sheng was awake, he was taken aback by the situation. It had felt too good. After withdrawing his hands, Zai Sheng's sharp eyes looked a little perplexed. The eyes that were as sharp as an eagle looked at the beautifully shaped collarbone of Xiao Nan and the skin so fair that it bedazzled the eyes. He quietly asked himself, was I the one who did this? He was not considered a true veteran. Zai Sheng did not know that he would behave in this way subconsciously when he was sleeping. This was the first time that he encountered this and he was taken aback. At that moment, he felt a slight sense of shame. When Zai Sheng woke up, he still had some conscience as he helped Xiao Nan adjust her clothing properly such that it covered her beautiful shoulder. He then got out of bed and went exercising as per his usual routine. Xiao Nan was not aware of this situation. She also did not know that the top 2 buttons of the shirt that she was wearing had already perished. The third one was also handicapped and could not survive anymore. In addition, due to Xiao Nan's movement when she was asleep, the shirt that Zai Sheng had adjusted properly for Xiao Nan before he left had slipped to the side again. His beloved woman was looking at him softly with half-lidded eyes. The morning sun was shining on Xiao Nan and the shirt on her became slightly translucent. The curvaceous figure under the shirt that Zai Sheng had felt for himself yesterday was partly hidden and visible now. This certainly caused a huge blow to Zai Sheng's sight. Nan, you have to know that a man cannot be seduced in the morning. Are you ready for it? Zai Sheng, whose fire had not gone down at all, revealed a dangerous shimmer in his eyes. His wolf-like eyes locked themselves on the translucent and tempting outline of Xiao Nan's figure. Xiao Nan was still in a blurry state and reacted only 3 seconds later. Under the baptism of Zai Sheng's hot and steamy eyes, Xiao Nan then shockingly discovered that her upper body felt a little cold. Xiao Nan let out a cold breath and then quickly adjusted the clothing on her. In particular, half of the beast that she had revealed earlier became the territory most guarded by her. Once Xiao Nan pulled the collar of the shirt, she felt that it did not feel right. She pinched it with her fingers and asked, "Where are the buttons on my shirt? I will go and bathe." After feasting with his eyes early in the morning, Zai Sheng, who had taken a lot of ice cream, suppressed his temptation. He took his clothing and left. Xiao Nan glared at the door that had been shut by Zai Sheng, speechless. Damn, why didn't she discover earlier that there was a gust of rogue manners in Brother Zai's bones? Who was seducing who? Zai Sheng did not add salt to the injury nor let Xiao Nan's anger and his desire grow larger. Thereafter, he was very tactful to bring over the clothing that Xiao Nan had washed last night to her. They were already dry. Nan, did you have a good sleep last night? Miao Jing looked at Xiao Nan smilingly when the latter walked out of Zai Sheng's room. She seemed to have predicted that this would be the outcome in the morning. Unknowingly, her eyes were hovering around Xiao Nan's tummy. However, Miao Jing felt regretful once again by the walking posture of Xiao Nan, which was more than normal. Her little grandchild had not come yet. At this moment, Zai Yaowai became the only person in the Zai family that had a conscience. His son had already taken such a huge advantage of the lady, yet his wife was still putting on the attitude of watching a show. That was not very good. All right, quickly come and eat. Miao Jing rolled her eyes at Zai Yaowai disdainfully. A crooked stick will have a crooked shadow. He was just pretending to be a good man in front of Nan. Cough. Completely understanding the despicable look in Miao Jing's eyes and at the thought of his action when he was young, Zai Yaowai cleared his throat and reminded Miao Jing that she had to give him, this head of the family, some face in front of the children. Toward his parents' exchange of love glances, Zai Sheng pretended that he did not see them. Nan, finish this cup of milk. I will send you to school later. Tonight, do we come back to this house or go to your master's place? Go to my master's place. Qiao Nan replied without further consideration. Zai Sheng gave Qiao Nan's hands a squeeze. He was very benevolent. All right. It was fine. He had just arrived in the capital yesterday and had been resting. From today onward, he basically could not slack off anymore. He was not any less busy than his father. Chapter 945 changed real fast. After eating breakfast, Zai Sheng sent Qiao Nan to school in the Land Rover. Shi Qing arched her eyebrows at seeing Zai Sheng getting off the car. Brother Zai, you are really here in the capital. She had known Zai Sheng for many years, but she rarely saw him in the capital. Although she had heard of it previously that Zai Sheng would come to the capital, Shi Qing was skeptical toward this news. She had to see him for herself to believe it. People changed real fast, particularly Brother Zai. He would change and do anything for Qiao Nan. I will leave Nan Nan to you. Take good care of her. Zai Sheng opened the door for Qiao Nan personally and helped her get off the car. He waited until Qiao Nan stood in front of Shi Qing before he handed her belongings to her. As a soldier, Zai Sheng never cared about gentlemanly behavior. But as a Chinese man, Zai Sheng knew instinctively how he should care for the woman he loved. Remember to call me in the evening. Zai Sheng reminded Qiao Nan before leaving in his car. Shi Qing watched as Zai Sheng left. She sighed. I never expected that there would be a day where Brother Zai would behave like a nanny and be so considerate to someone else. Qiao Nan, you must be lucky in this life for Brother Zai to fall in love with you. Why do I have the feeling that Brother Zai is treating you like his daughter? Seeing how Zai Sheng took great care of Qiao Nan, it reminded Shi Qing of the days back when her father sent her to school for the first time. It was no different from what she saw just now. Qiao Nan smiled. Both of us have lessons this morning. We must hurry or we will be late. Hey, wait for me. Shi Qing widened her eyes. She suddenly remembered that she had classes this morning. Oh, my goodness! The lesson this morning is conducted by the teacher well known in our faculty for her fierce temper. If I am late for her class, I heard that she will make life difficult for the students for 3 consecutive years. It's such a coincidence. Tang Jiayun was amused as she witnessed Qiao Nan getting off the Land Rover once again. Like she said, she had an affinity with Qiao Nan. They would definitely be good friends. If not, why would she be present whenever something happened to Qiao Nan? Tang Jiayun flicked her hair. She had her high heels on and was getting ready to walk to the classroom. She saw Lu Yan who had a glum expression. Hey, have you come back from outside? Are you addicted to the internet? Have you been to the internet cafe again? Whose identity card did you borrow this time? Whose money did you use this time? Who is the unlucky one that you posted a thread about this time around? Tang Jiayun was puzzled why Lu Yan was able to remain at Peking University. Things had been clarified, and demerit points were given. Why did Lu Yan have the courage to stay at Peking University and to stay outside for the night? Tang Jiayun had to hand it to Lu Yan. Was Lu Yan that strong emotionally and hence could accept everything? What does this have to do with you? Lu Yan retorted unhappily. It had only been a few days and it was a different man now. Back then, the man was her elder. I suppose the man just now is her elder brother. Crap! Like her, Qiao Nan did not come from a well-to-do family. How was it possible that her brother had such an expensive car? What a fool! Tang Jiayun blew on her nails. Didn't you notice that the car was the same as the one from before? Therefore, the handsome guy must be related to the man from the last time. Even if they were not directly related, they must be relatives. Initially, Tang Jiayun had her suspicions as well. She was not certain whether the older man was really Qiao Nan's elder. Perhaps it was because of the man that the incident regarding the thread was covered up. However, from what Tang Jiayun saw today, she felt that what happened last time might be a misunderstanding. They had been thinking too much. The handsome guy bore a resemblance to the older man from last time. They must be father and son. No man would help his father send his kept woman to school. It was simply ludicrous. Lu Yan was in a daze upon hearing what Tang Jiayun said. She recalled what happened and realized that Tang Jiayun might be right. Lu Yan had a sullen expression on her face. Not only was she issued demerits points, but Yu Xiaoxiao also kept ignoring her. She had no friends at school. Lu Yan had no other choice but to consider being friends with students from the same hometown. It was a pity that they came from different faculties and their classrooms and dormitories were far apart. Furthermore, Lu Yan was capable of using cheap tricks on others, but it did not mean that other people would do so as well. Many students cherished their chances to study at Peking University. They wished that there were 48 hours a day so that they could study. They did not have the time to be up to no good like Lu Yan. Moreover, what Lu Yan did was indeed too lowly. People from her hometown disliked students who made trouble out of nothing. Lu Yan tried to be friendly to them, but her warm feelings were met with cold rebuke. Eventually, she stopped being friendly to them. Lu Yan was still upset about this when she saw a handsome man drove Jiaonan to school early in the morning. Zai Sheng was tall and upright. He had the looks and a righteous aura about him. People could not help but want to rely on him. Lu Yan grew fond of him as well. But she was upset that the handsome man that she liked drove Jiaonan to school early in the morning. She was jealous of Jiaonan. She could not help but comment that Jiaonan was with an older man previously, and she was with a younger man this time. Lu Yan kept staring at Zai Sheng. Previously, when she wanted to teach Jiaonan a lesson, she had also taken a close look at the photo. She might have overlooked it previously, but after Tang Jiayun's reminder, Lu Yan thought about it and realized that the man who picked up Jiaonan that day had a resemblance to the man who sent Jiaonan to school today. You have sharp eyes. Tang Jiayun used to hate Jiaonan more than her. Why did she side with her now? Tang Jiayun could tell that Lu Yan was puzzled. She hurried toward the classroom while she ridiculed Lu Yan. I may have sharp eyes, but you are a moron. You want to bask in Jiaonan's light, yet you dare to act as if you are the boss. Do you think you own the world? Tang Jiayun might have a bad temper and was after material gains. However, she understood what was good for her, and no matter how difficult it was, she was willing to do anything to get what she wanted. Tang Jiayun disliked people like Lu Yan. She wanted to stand to gain but pretended to be prim and proper. She was so pretentious. Humph! Lu Yan clenched her fists. Tang Jiayun knew that Jiaonan was resourceful and wanted to suck up to her. Chapter 946 You are the secretary. However, Jiaonan would not be friendly to her classmates. Tang Jiayun might be dead set on being friendly with Jiaonan, but she did not believe that Tang Jiayun would stand to benefit from this. Tang Jiayun looked down on Lu Yan, while Lu Yan ridiculed Tang Jiayun for being shameless. They were the same. Both of them tried to harm Jiaonan. Jiaonan would not accept her, and neither would she be friendly to Tang Jiayun. Did Tang Jiayun think that she was a fool? It was Tang Jiayun who gave her the idea that she could upload the photo and post the thread. If not for her, she would not have thought of exposing Jiaonan on the internet. Moreover, she did not take the initiative to borrow the camera. It was Tang Jiayun who lent it to her deliberately. Lu Yan was no fool. She had been given demerit points and like what Jiaonan had been through previously, she was ostracized by other students. Lu Yan calmed down and realized that she had fallen into Tang Jiayun's trap. Tang Jiayun wanted to suck up to Jiaonan, but she lacked the opportunity to do so. Therefore, she egged her on to deal with Jiaonan and she was foolish enough to believe her. By the time everyone misunderstood Jiaonan and ostracized her, Tang Jiayun behaved like a good classmate and pretended that she was on her side. Jiaonan would then be touched by Tang Jiayun who provided help in her hour of need. Lu Yan heard that on the day she posted the thread, and when everyone ignored Xiao Nan, Tang Jiayun was the only person to talk to her. Lu Yan knew that her guess was correct. She had fallen into Tang Jiayun's trap and been used by her. Fortunately, Xiao Nan was not fooled by Tang Jiayun. Until now, she still ignored Tang Jiayun like how she used to do in the past. Otherwise, her foolishness would help Tang Jiayun succeed in her plan. By then, it would be a fatal blow to Lu Yan. Lu Yan had thought of telling Xiao Nan about this. However, Xiao Nan ignored her as well, and Xiao Nan was not friendly to Tang Jiayun either. Therefore, Lu Yan felt that there was no need for her to say anything. What? You want me to look for sponsors? Xiao Nan had joined the club for half a month. She received notice that the club would be holding a meeting today and she definitely had to attend. However, Xiao Nan felt perturbed when she noticed that not many people turned up for the meeting. It seemed that not all of the members were there. Since the meeting was not meant for everyone in the club, why did they ask her to attend? Xiao Nan was dumbstruck when the president told her of the agenda for today's meeting. It was to look for sponsors. Crap! Why would she be given such a task? You are the secretary of the club. Is there anything wrong to work for the club? The female vice president was unhappy. There were several similar clubs like them at Peking University. Their club was relatively new and was not as popular as the established clubs. As a specially privileged person, one was ambitious to have achievements in school. Although they were still in school, they hoped to graduate with high achievements. The established clubs started off as new clubs. If they worked on making the club a success, it would be a much greater success than the established club's secretary. Xiao Nan felt dizzy. She merely registered to join the club. When did she become the secretary? Previously, Xiao Nan had been occupied with being a voluntary guide. Therefore, she had neglected her work in the club. Xiao Nan had been outstanding in junior high school and senior high school. The teachers favored her and they would arrange for her to take up positions in the class committee where not much work was needed. Now that she was in college, being a secretary would add points to her academic performance. In other words, back then, people had no wish to be a committee member, but right now, everyone was vying to be one. Back then, she might stand out, but right now, she was in college. There were many outstanding students at Peking University. Xiao Nan dared not think too highly of herself. She was merely an ordinary student among the other students. Even if she had registered to join the club, she was just an ordinary member. She could never be the secretary. Ever. Xiao Nan had always thought and felt this way. However, the vice president sprung a surprise on her today and told her that she was the secretary of the club. Moreover, since she was the secretary and the club wanted to organize an event, she had to look for sponsors for the funds needed for the event. The reason why Xiao Nan became the secretary was that she had good results in the past. Xiao Nan was a provincial top scorer. Although she did not have the highest results in the country, her results were among the top 10 in the country. Only specially privileged people would be able to make it to Peking University. Xiao Nan's results were the best among the best. For that alone, the president and vice president of the club valued Xiao Nan a lot. Previously, the female vice president was worried that the kept woman scandal that was fervently discussed on the school forum would have a negative impact on the club. She had even thought of appointing someone else as the secretary. The club was relatively new and it could not be compared to the established clubs. If the secretary of the club was involved in such a scandal, there was no way the club would do well. Fortunately, the president decided to put it on hold. Thereafter, the scandal was cleared up and the president and the vice president forgot about it. Upon hearing what the vice president said, the president looked at Xiao Nan sympathetically. Perhaps opposite attracts and vice versa, or that the junior was too pretty looking. The vice president seemed to dislike her. Everyone who used to be in a club or had held an event knew that it was the most difficult task to look for sponsors. It was simply to fundraise. If one did not have any networks and went around blindly, those tycoons would not spend their money on the events held by a school club. In general, those clubs that needed to look for sponsors would appoint someone in the club as secretary to be in charge of securing funds. The secretary had to come from well-to-do families, and the bare minimum condition was that the family had to run a business. Such a candidate usually did not do well in school and would usually rank in the bottom few. Since they did not have good results, it was impossible for them to be a committee member in the clubs. The clubs arranged such a position for them so that they could make use of the connections that their families had and raise funds. As a new club, it was very difficult to find someone like that. Students who had mediocre results but had connections were widely sought after by the clubs. There were not many such students in the school. Furthermore, there were many different clubs in the school. Therefore, it was even more difficult for new clubs to get these students to join them. In short, the female vice president assigned the most difficult task to Jiao Nan, the newly appointed secretary. Chapter 947 Here to poach talent. Jiao Nan frowned, revealing her reluctance. Is this how it works in other clubs as well? Did they look for sponsors? Was money that important? Of course. The female vice president rushed to speak steadfastly before the president. If you don't believe us, you can ask around. Whenever the club organizes events, the secretary in the club has to look for sponsors. Our club is relatively new. We have been established for 2 to 3 years. But the situation is similar to other clubs. We are not in any way different. Jiao Nan, we trust you. That is why we appoint you secretary of the club. In order for our club to grow and develop, we trust you to make sure that the event will be a huge success. The female vice president held in her anger. Their club was a new English club. There was another more established and popular English club at Peking University. When she was a freshman, the female vice president had wanted to join the established English club. She could not be bothered with the new English club that only had a few members. The problem was that the female vice president had her aspirations. She felt that she was outstanding and brilliant. Although she was just a freshman, she was more than qualified to be the secretary of the club, and she believed she could work her way up to become the president. However, the reality was far from what she imagined. She believed she was the prodigy, but there were no discerning eyes who could tell greatness from mediocrity. After joining the club, she was merely an ordinary member. She would be able to take it lying down if all the freshmen who joined the club were ordinary members. However, her classmate from the same class was appointed secretary. In the end, the female vice president quit the club. She went through a lot of effort to join the new English club and became the secretary. In the next 2 years, she became the vice president as she wished. Unfortunately, until now, the new English club did not do as well as the established English club. Right now, the club decided to organize events. The female vice president had taken it lying down for 2 years. She hoped that she could organize a grand event this year and realize her dreams. The problem was that if they wanted to organize a successful event, they had to have interesting activities as well as sufficient funds. No one in the new English club was interested to take up the difficult position of looking for sponsors. Since they did not have enough funds, they could not organize the event. No one had any idea why the female vice president would set her designs on Qiaonan this year. The president surmised that it could be due to the thread. As a man, the president had no need to look it up, and he knew that the Land Rover was an expensive car. According to the official statement of the school, the owner of the Land Rover was Qiaonan's elder. Therefore, did it mean that Qiaonan had ways of securing the funds? The female vice president's eyes lit up and she grabbed Qiaonan's hand tightly. Qiaonan, you must work hard this year to bring enough funds for our club. I believe you can definitely make it. The future of our new English club will depend on the event we organize this time. The female vice president was already in her 3rd year. She would have to start her internship very soon. She would spend most of her time on her internship when she was in her 4th year. In other words, this might be the last time the female vice president organized such events. If the club could not succeed this time, the dream that the female vice president used to have would not come true. Xiaonan was flustered from being trusted with such a huge responsibility. Vice President, don't be too confident in me. I have no confidence at all. I won't be able to look for sponsors. It is such a difficult task. Xiaonan was not an arrogant person. Although she had zero experience, she knew that this was not an easy task. Looking for sponsorship? Apart from studying, the thing that Xiaonan wanted most in life was money. Unfortunately, in order to study hard, she had no time to work to earn money. Xiaonan could not imagine her own self speaking out those words, asking other people to take out their money to fund the club. No, others can't do it, but you can definitely do it. I will no longer be the vice president next year. By then, you will definitely be the vice president of our club. The female vice president had thought about it. There must be a reason behind the animosity between females. But this time, the female vice president had put all her stakes on Xiaonan. She hoped that Xiaonan could help her realize her dreams in the university. She had already decided to step down next year. Since both of them were of the same gender, the vice president felt that Xiaonan was very promising. If Xiaonan was able to help the club secure funds this year and make the event a success, bringing the New English Club to new heights, Xiaonan would be the biggest hero of the New English Club. It was right for Xiaonan to take up the position of the vice president once she stepped down. No one would have any objections. Xiaonan was not thrilled with the female vice president's vote of confidence. She had a bitter smile on her face. There was no need to have so much trust in her. She was unworthy of it. No matter how she refused their offer, Xiaonan was defenseless under the female vice president's continuous persuasion and bombardment. Xiaonan pulled a long face at the thought of the funds that the vice president requested of her. She felt like crying. Xiaonan took a few deep breaths, wanting to concentrate on her studies. Unfortunately, it did not work. At this time, someone squeezed next to Xiaonan. "Hi, this classmate over here, can you give up the seat to me?" Xiaonan wanted to refuse, but the person who sat next to her got up and left. Xiaonan sighed to herself. She had been restless after the conversation with the vice president. She thought that the other person was talking to her. "Hello, I heard that you are the secretary of the New English Club and you are in charge of fundraising for the event this time, is that right?" The other party was a girl. Her voice was soft, and she sounded like the gentle girls from Jiangnan, the water town. However, her words were not as mild as how she sounded. Xiaonan looked up from her book and stared at her with a blank look. "You are?" She did not know this student. She was not from her class and she had not seen her before. "I am Zhou Wengxuan, a third-year student. I am the vice president of the English Club. Nice to meet you. In fact, I have heard of you long ago. You are a provincial top scorer and you are very outstanding. I always thought that I would have the opportunity to meet you in the club. Unexpectedly, you joined another English club and my wish did not come true." Zhou Wengxuan sounded as if she was very disappointed. It was as if Xiaonan was being heartless for joining the other English club. When she mentioned the English club, she had to be talking about the established English club. "Perhaps you have just joined the school and you don't understand the situation here. Are you interested in joining our club? We are more than welcome to have you." Zhou Wengxuan extended an olive branch to Xiaonan, hinting to her that she could get in through the back door. "I believe given your abilities, even if you are not the secretary this year, you will get the position next year." Chapter 948 went head-to-head. "I believe you should understand that there is a difference between secretaries." Zhou Wengxuan was telling Xiaonan that the established English club was in a higher position than the New English Club. The secretary of the established English club would be deemed as a more important position. All the positions had been decided for this year. There was no way to make any changes. As long as Qiaonan was willing to join their English club, Zhou Wengxuan would help Qiaonan become the secretary next year. She would have to wait a year to be the secretary. Many students could not wait to join the English club. However, Zhou Wengxuan would not let Qiaonan wait in vain. Qiaonan arched her eyebrows and smiled. Is this considered poaching? Zhou Wengxuan paused momentarily. She did not expect that Qiaonan would be so blunt. Zhou Wengxuan schooled her expression and smiled gracefully. Yes, you are a talent. It is not surprising that one will want you to join them. She admitted that she was indeed here to ask Qiaonan to join her club. Thank you, Qiaonan said politely. Zhou Wengxuan smiled. I know you are a smart person. Everyone who wanted to join their club would have to get in through the back door or to have exceptional performances. Qiaonan should appreciate what was offered to her. The chance would not be offered to everyone. Well, wait a minute. I will get someone to send you the application form to join the club. You can fill it out just for the sake of filling it. No need. Qiaonan shook her head. I am very grateful for your recognition. The school requires students to join a club, and I have already joined a club. As for other matters, I am not ambitious. I feel that it is not a good idea to do things this way, and it will put you in a difficult position. She had no intention of joining the English club that the senior was in. Qiaonan could not understand why the senior would come looking for her. Qiaonan did not believe her when she said that she recognized her talents. There were many talented students at Peking University. She was just a mediocre student. Furthermore, she was a freshman, not well known in school. Lu Yan and Yu Xiaoxiao had joined the English club with Tang Jiayun's help. They mentioned that there were no more vacancies and it was not easy to join the club. Qiaonan did not join in the fun during the time for registration. The registration had ended long ago and yet someone came to offer her a vacancy in the club. Qiaonan felt that something must be wrong. Qiaonan, perhaps you would like to reconsider. Zhou Wengxuan was surprised that Qiaonan would reject her. She thought that Qiaonan would agree readily. As long as one had their wits about them, one would know which to choose. There is no need for that. Are you really not going to reconsider? Zhou Wengxuan frowned. Qiaonan was too much. She was the vice president of the English club. She was being very nice to Qiaonan by asking her personally. Qiaonan must learn to know her limits. What is there to consider? Su Shennan slammed her palm on the table. Zhou Wengxuan, what do you mean by this? Back then, Zhou Wengxuan joined the established English club with her. She was not selected to be the secretary while Zhou Wengxuan from her class was offered the position. They had been classmates for 2 years and Su Shennan found Zhou Wengxuan to be an eyesore in the 2 years. Su Shennan had a fiery temper and she was straightforward and impulsive. In short, she was like a tomboy. Her parents had given her a very apt name. Her parents hoped that she could do better than men. Of course, Su Shennan had the desire to excel as well. She would not lose to men, let alone women. Back then, they got into Peking University with the same results and they signed up for the English club at the same time. What made Su Shennan unhappy was that if a freshman like her was unqualified to be a secretary, how could Zhou Wengxuan be a secretary? Su Shennan felt that the president of the English club back then looked down on her. Therefore, she sought opportunities in other places and joined another club. Half a semester had passed. Su Shennan finally realized why she lost to Zhou Wengxuan. Unlike Su Shennan, who was straightforward and behaved like a boy, Zhou Wengxuan was gentle and soft-spoken. She gave others the impression of being a quiet and graceful lady. Su Shennan heard from other male students that she was like a brother to them, but when they saw Zhou Wengxuan, they wanted to protect and help her. Not long after entering college, Zhou Wengxuan became known as the most beautiful girl in the faculty. She would be in close touch with the president of the English club back then, discussing their homework. Su Shennan finally realized that other people treated her like a man while they treated Zhou Wengxuan as a woman. Men preferred Zhou Wengxuan, who was not too straightforward, over her. This was the reason why she lost to Zhou Wengxuan. Ever since she realized that she lost not because of her capabilities or her talents, but because of her looks and temper, Su Shennan bore grudges and was at loggerheads with the established English club. In fact, the reason why Su Shennan found Jiaonan an eyesore right from the start was that Jiaonan resembled Zhou Wengxuan in terms of temperament. Actually, it was the president who suggested that Jiaonan became the secretary. She had no choice but to respect the president's decision. This was the reason why Su Shennan gave Jiaonan the most difficult and arduous task. She did want to make life difficult for Jiaonan. But she also hoped that Jiaonan could accomplish the mission and she could realize her dream from long ago, bringing the club to greater heights. After talking to Jiaonan and listening to what the president had to say, she had sorted out her thoughts. She hoped that Jiaonan was her god of wealth and that the latter could assist her in realizing her dreams in university. However, she treated Jiaonan harshly. Jiaonan would not seek trouble for herself. She would not help her secure funds after being treated badly by her. If such things happened to him, the president would not help Su Shennan secure funds. This was even more so for women. Su Shennan was anxious after hearing those words. Jiaonan was her last and only hope. If Jiaonan refused to help her and played some tricks with her, the event this year might fail and she would lose her last chance to realize her dream. This would mean that she had no way of winning against Zhou Wengxuan in all her years in university. It was never too late to change. After listening to the president's advice, Su Shennan found out where Jiaonan was and went looking for her. Su Shennan never imagined that Zhou Wengxuan, her biggest enemy in the university, would sit next to Jiaonan and engaged in a conversation with Jiaonan. By the time she came near them, Su Shennan heard that Zhou Wengxuan was trying to persuade Jiaonan to join her club. Su Shennan was so furious that she wanted to hit Zhou Wengxuan. Classmate Su is here. Zhou Wengxuan felt particularly unhappy that Su Shennan glared at her like a tigress. 1. Sheng means win in Chinese, while Nan refers to men in Chinese. Chapter 949 Who exactly is Jiaonan? I don't mean anything. I just feel that Jiaonan is a nice person and I want to know her better. As her senior, I should let her know everything about Peking University so that she will be able to plan ahead for her 4 years in college. Now that the two seniors had met, although one looked like a provoked tigress while the other looked like a leopard who had had her fill and could not be bothered, Jiaonan was keen to catch on to the odd atmosphere between them. It turned out that it was due to Vice President Su that Senior Zhou asked her to join the club that she was in. Su Shennan always wanted to compete with Zhou Wengxuan and surpass her. Although Zhou Wengxuan could not be bothered to compete with Su Shennan, she found Su Shennan an eyesore. Su Shennan regarded Jiaonan as her last trump card. Zhou Wengxuan did not believe that Jiaonan had the capabilities. However, she wanted to crush all hopes and dreams that Su Shennan had. Knowing that Su Shennan had put all the stakes on Jiaonan, she could not help but join in the fun and poach Jiaonan so that Su Shennan would lose all hope of competing with her. Jiaonan had just entered college. She had done nothing, yet she was embroiled in the fight between her seniors. Dream on. Zhou Wengxuan smiled nonchalantly. She behaved as if Su Shennan was kicking up a fuss and she could not be bothered to reason with her. However, this made Su Shennan want to bash her even more. The school stated clearly that students could not fight in school. Otherwise, given Zhou Wengxuan's personality, Su Shennan would have given her many rounds of bashing. Jiaonan is the secretary of our club. Don't even think of poaching her. Su Shennan pulled Jiaonan by the shoulder toward her. She wanted Zhou Wengxuan to know that Jiaonan belonged to her club. Zhou Wengxuan smiled and turned to Jiaonan. Is Jiaonan really the secretary of your club? It's such a coincidence. I also think that Jiaonan is very capable. It happens that our club has a vacancy for a secretary right now due to the event. Qiao Nan, are you interested? Su Shennan widened her eyes in anger. You are pitting yourself against me. They had a vacancy for a secretary? It was a pack of lies. Qiao Nan wiped the beads of perspiration on her forehead. Senior Zhou was bent on getting her to join them. Now that Qiao Nan was being highly valued by two seniors, she was the least bit happy. In fact, she was at a loss. She had done nothing, yet she garnered the attention of two of her seniors. One insisted that she looked for sponsors, while the other wanted her to join the club and be a secretary. Whatever happened at Pingcheng, so be it. But right now, how could she be highly sought after at Peking University? Qiao Nan wanted to ask the seniors whether they had got the right person. Perhaps they were looking for another person. Classmate Su, you are too agitated. I am not going against you. Qiao Nan, I hope that you can consider what I said just now and let me know your answer. Zhou Wengxuan knew that Su Shennan had a bad temper and she had no wish to quarrel with her in public, lest it affect her reputation. Zhou Wengxuan stood up and turned to leave. Su Shennan gritted her teeth and focused all her attention on Qiao Nan. She took a deep breath. Junior Qiao, my attitude was not good back at the club. This has all to do with me and nothing to do with you. I must apologize to you. The English club that Zhou Wengxuan is in has a longer history in Peking University and is more famous than our club. However, we cannot look at the surface of things. The promise that Zhou Wengxuan made may not be realized. Even if you are really the secretary, you may not be in the position for long. Qiao Nan might take the position today, but she might be removed from the position the next day. What was the point? This may sound unpleasant, but I still have to say it. I am not on good terms with Zhou Wengxuan. I am not being narcissistic. The reason why Zhou Wengxuan came looking for you at this time could be due to... Do you mean that she knew that I have to raise funds for our club's events? Qiao Nan pointed to herself. Yes. Su Shennan breathed a sigh of relief. Since Qiao Nan was able to continue her sentence, it meant that she was not angered by her words. We all know that if we want to do a good job organizing an event, not only must we have good activities, but we must have funds as well. Sometimes, the availability of funds was more important than the event itself. One was not afraid of competition. One was only afraid of not being as good as the competitors. The competitor had the funds and the props while they were in a miserable state. Given this situation, their club could not be compared to the established club. If they did not have any interesting events, the school would not pay attention to them. Come next year, they would not be able to recruit new members. They would not be able to have enough members or interesting events, and they could not match up to the established club as well. Furthermore, the school might send them a notice to disband the club. Oh, Qiao Nan replied. But she was interested to know. Since funding was very important in organizing a club's event, why were the seniors so certain that she would be able to secure a large amount of funds for the English club? Her family was not in charge of the banks and she needed money desperately. How could it be possible that she could ask for money on behalf of the club? Qiao Nan was not the only person who thought so. People around Zhou Wengxuan also had the same doubts. Senior Zhou, aren't you being too anxious? We are an established club. We have always been doing better than the other English club. For us, getting sponsorship is an easy task. Qiao Nan is not capable of that. Lu Yan was like Zhou Wengxuan's lackey. She stood behind her, pouring tea for her. Nothing is absolute. Zhou Wengxuan drank the tea. She looked glum despite Lu Yan fawning over her. Tang Jiayun, Yu Xiao Xiao, weren't you in the same dormitory as Qiao Nan? Are you certain about her family's situation? Yu Xiao Xiao pursed her lips. She had no wish to make any comments. Tang Jiayun smiled. Senior Zhou, I have told you long ago that Qiao Nan is very quiet and she seldom mixes with us. She is very reserved. Despite staying in the same dormitory for such a long time, Xiaonan never mentioned about her family's situation. When we kept probing, she said that her family's situation is very common like the rest of us. That's right. Senior Zhou, you can rest assured. Xiaonan is not capable of getting any sponsors. We shall watch as she works her guts out to raise funds. Lu Yan nodded. She must not let Xiaonan join their club now. Chapter 950 Ploys were no longer effective. Back then, she had run so many errands for Tang Jiayun and fawned on her. Only then did Tang Jiayun agree to help her join the English club. If Xiaonan joined the club, she would be considered as her senior. However, she was angry that she was merely an ordinary member while Xiaonan was the secretary. She could not match up to Xiaonan in all aspects, and she was given demerit points because of her. If Xiaonan became the secretary and had a higher position in the club than her, Lu Yan felt like leaving the English club. Lu Yan went through a lot to join the English club. She only said it in a peak of anger that she would leave the club. She could not bear to leave for real. Since Lu Yan would not leave the club, the best solution was that Xiaonan did not join the club in the first place. Initially, I did not really care about Xiaonan. However, look at the scandal that your dormitory had created. Zhou Wengxuan glanced at Lu Yan with a look of displeasure. What exactly is the relationship between the person in the photo and Xiaonan? If not for this photo, would she have noticed a freshman and condescended to invite her to join the club? The ridiculous thing was that Xiaonan was just a freshman, yet she was not satisfied with small gains. Zhou Wengxuan felt annoyed at the thought of this. The reason why I asked the three of you for a talk is to ask you whether Xiaonan is capable of getting sponsors for the shabby club. Give me an answer right now. Zhou Wengxuan had never taken Su Shennan as her opponent. She was unworthy of it. She knew that Su Shennan wanted to defeat her, but she would always mock Su Shennan for overestimating her capabilities and having wishful thinking. She used to think that Su Shennan would be straining her brain for nothing up until she graduated from college. Zhou Wengxuan was already in her third year, and Xiaonan appeared at this moment, bringing about uncertainty to their current situation. Zhou Wengxuan was upset about it. Yu Xiaoxiao felt like leaving the discussion. She stayed until now all because of the club. Senior Zhou, I am not close with Xiaonan, so I am not clear about her situation. I can't give you any answer regarding this. It was ludicrous. She did not expect that after joining the famous English club, the first activity organized by the club would be to discuss her former roommate. It was absurd. Tang Jiaxuan was cautious. Senior Zhou, there is something strange about Xiaonan. She seems to be a plain and simple girl. However, she would do something out of the ordinary at the critical juncture. As far as I know, she is from Pingcheng. She does not have any relatives or acquaintances in the capital. As for the elder in the photo, I have heard about it. Even though the person drove a Land Rover, he is not from the capital as well. He is not based here. Apart from that, Xiaonan's only support was a freshman from another faculty. Shi Qing. Shi Qing has relatives in the capital, and these relatives are very loaded. Tang Jiayun did not know Feng Meng, but it was etched in her mind that he drove a Mercedes. Shi Qing. Zhou Wengxuan felt slightly better. Zhou Wengxuan was not very pleased with the three newly recruited members, particularly Lu Yan, who only knew to suck up to her, and Yu Xiaoxiao, who seemed to know nothing. Fortunately, there was Tang Jiayun. Do you know Shi Qing's situation? Zhou Wengxuan directed the question to Tang Jiayun instead of Yu Xiaoxiao and Lu Yan. She had some impression of Tang Jiayun. She knew that among the three members, two of them joined the club on account of Tang Jiayun. Tang Jiayun was the only one who was good at networking. Xiaonan likes to keep to herself. It was only later that we found out that she has a friend like Shi Qing. Xiaonan seldom talked about her family. The same could be said about her friend's family as well. The only information Tang Jiayun could share was that Shi Qing had a brother who drove a Mercedes. It was no wonder Su Shennan was so confident. One must be fairly rich to drive a Mercedes. Will you be able to find out how many sponsors Jiaonan managed to get? It seemed that the new English club might have a chance of success after recruiting Jiaonan. In the past, the new English club was low in funds and it was very difficult for them to organize events. Zhou Wengxuan was annoyed that they had funds to organize events this time. There would be some difficulty. Tang Jiaxuan shook her head. At least for the three of us, we were not able to get any information from Jiaonan. Tang Jiayun smiled at Lu Yan, who looked unconvinced. If Lu Yan told Senior Zhou that she had a way of getting the information, she would definitely hand it to her for being so daring. What about you? Zhou Wengxuan turned to look at Lu Yan. Lu Yan wanted to say yes, but she was clear that if she had the ability, she would not be in such a situation now. She would already be good friends with Jiaonan. I suppose it is impossible. All right, the three of you can leave. You are not needed here. Zhou Wengxuan felt impatient. They could not render any help. The new recruits this year were of no help to her. Lu Yan cowered in fear like a young daughter-in-law who was scared out of her wits. She stood up immediately and left with Yu Xiaoxiao and Tang Jiayun. Once they came out of the meeting room, Yu Xiaoxiao strode forward, widening the distance between Lu Yan and her. Yu Xiaoxiao had no wish to be friends with Lu Yan. Yu Xiaoxiao was not the only person who kept a distance from Lu Yan. Tang Jiayun stood to the side as well. I finally understand that biting dogs don't bark. Lu Yan was very scheming. She was barely her opponent. Back then, Yu Xiaoxiao and Lu Yan joined the famous English club with her help. However, Lu Yan had turned to flatter Senior Zhou in no time. Senior Zhou was the vice president of the English club and she would step down next year. Many people were eyeing her position and tried to gain her favor, hoping that she would help them become the next vice president. Similarly, Tang Jiayun had this plan in mind and wanted to give it her best shot to get the position. But before she had made any moves, Lu Yan had made use of her to impress the senior. Tang Jiayun sneered. She had failed miserably in a very easy task. Jiaonan had never provoked Lu Yan or bad-mouthed her, yet she created the scandal of her being a kept woman. At the thought of this, Tang Jiayun felt slightly better. Actually, Tang Jiayun did not realize that Jiaonan had never been close to Lu Yan. Instead, Tang Jiayun had rendered help to Lu Yan. However, Lu Yan disregarded the fact that she used to help her. In fact, Tang Jiayun should be reminded of the farmer and the viper in Aesop's fables. Lu Yan looked grim after being ostracized by Yu Xiaoxiao and Tang Jiayun. She grounded her teeth and left after a while. Lu Yan used to behave in this manner, but nobody would notice it.